Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right. This is the Endless Song Podcast with Will and Emily.
Are you already recording?
Yeah, we're recording. That's that's the end of the episode right there. Is the
Perfect.
meowing bit. So you gotta catch all that stuff.
Okay, so vocabulary today with special guest host Sheyla de Jesus. Thank you for helping us out on this one. Okay, so our first word that we are going to go over is the word psychic.
Ooh.
What does psychic mean?
Yeah.
Who is psychic?
Psychic has, first of all, I think a lot of charge and carries some weight to it. But from my perspective, psychic is really kind of an umbrella over all your abilities. So empathic, intuitive, seeing, feeling, emotion, other people's emotion. I think if you identify with the word psychic is that you have an awareness in a way of energy coming into your space or in a space. And that is a psychic ability. So a psychic is more than just one ability. It's not just like, I see the future. It's more of like, I can see, I can hear, I can sense, I can feel, right?
I love that because I think for most of my life, I thought that psychic did just mean you could see the future.
Right.
And that's really limiting that because that's not the way it is at all.
Not at all.
Okay. So staying along those lines though, I also hear people refer to themselves as intuitive. Is that different from psychic or is it the same thing, just a different word?
I think it's under the umbrella of psychic. I think intuitive is more in alignment to one's perhaps feeling or sensing energy, right? Mm-hmm. Like intuition of like, ooh, I feel like something's going to happen. Yeah. There's an intuitive peak. But again, intuition can come in through seeing. Mm-hmm. Or you can feel it in your body, right? Mm-hmm. So intuition, I think, is an interactive thing that's like an action, almost like, oh, my intuition, I'm activating to almost see or feel something.
Is that also kind of like when people say, oh, well, I can just feel it in my gut?
Yeah.
That would be considered
it's in
intuition?
Your second chakra is where you kind of activate your intuition. It's where your emotions are, in a way. A lot of people think your emotions are in your fourth, like your heart chakra. But that is about affinity and identity, at least in the work I do,
okay.
right?
Okay.
And that's where that lives, which, your identity can have emotional response, but that response is happening in your gut, in that second chakra, when you're like, oh, I feel like I forgot my keys.
Right.
Yeah, you probably are going to forget your keys. Get back in there before you lock yourself out.
Grab them before you go.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's great. That's clarifying is what that is. So thank you. Okay, next word. Medium. We're not talking about size here.
Yeah.
So what is a medium?
A medium to me is a person that can channel. Either it be consciously channeling or unconsciously channeling. For a long time, I didn't know I was a medium, but turns out I was a medium before I was like clairvoyant or intuitive. I actually had been connecting to spirit in different ways. Ancestors, people that have passed away, since I was very young. So when you're a medium, you're connecting to an energy outside of yourself and channeling in, either it be channeling in the communication from that being or channeling in that being, right? Kind of, there's so many like famous channelers in the world from like the 50s and even further back, like Edgar Cayce.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And so that's a form of bringing in a being or an energy to facilitate, either be a healing or communicate something to someone else or to yourself. But there's so many different ways of being a medium. There's people that scribble, there are people that channel, there are people that like use their voice box and their voice changes, right? Mm-hmm. So medium is more of bringing something in. Okay. That's not your energy, it's a foreign energy.
I like that too, because I always thought that a medium was basically just someone who talked to people who had passed on. But what you're saying is it can be any disembodied energy.
It could be Christ. It could be, and I don't say Christ as in a form of religion. I mean that vibration, that being. Mm-hmm. It could be a goddess, right? I told my husband today, hey, if you're feeling buzzy, it's because Zeus is in the house today. Sorry.
And was he just okay with that?
He's just like, okay.
Sure. It's just another day in our household.
He's like, I'm gonna drink some water, because you get really high. You get so like vibrationally, some of these beings just vibrate out of the body. I can't bring Zeus into my body if I wanted to. Mm-hmm. He just pulls me out, and then I'm out there partying with Zeus. But I didn't bring him in because there's a war happening. In fact, Zeus is very good for protection and helps like clear out anything that gets in the way of creativity. And I'm working on a big project, so I'm like, hey man, I need some protection today. Can you help a sister out?
Don't you just want to be on her shoulder and just go on that journey with her?
Sure. Yes. Yeah.
Right? Totally.
I love that.
Yeah, well, I think there's the media side of all of this. Everyone has their own opinions about what all of these words mean. We talk psychic. I think the old lady with the crystal ball in the dark room and the round table, and we talk about mediums. It's the people who are speaking to ghosts on the ghost hunter shows and stuff. But it really is more than that. It's almost really like a field of work where what you're channeling, how you're channeling, and who you're channeling is sort of all a part of your identity as a medium.
Totally.
It's not just one thing.
Exactly. And there's people that are mediums that aren't aware of it. Like, have you ever drank so much you have a blackout, and then the next day your friends are like, man, you acted crazy last night.
Right.
You were channeling. If you're not in your vessel, something will come in your vessel. Everyone has the capability of being a medium. It's just we're not conscious of that. We're not taught that. That's not a language we adapt to. You have to want to kind of go on that journey and be like, what, that's a medium? Yeah, you're a medium. When you drink so much and you don't recall, you're channeling. You may not agree with that, and that's okay, but that's what's happening. You're leaving your body. The reason you don't recall it is because you weren't in it. Someone else was.
That's food for thought, folks.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah,
so it's not just, some people are really good at giving lectures and they don't do this work at all, but they're channeling a being or a higher self or someone else that is really good at public speaking.
Do you have any thoughts about the idea of, in sports, they talk about the zone, and we can talk about that in other ways too. Business people get in the zone.
Yes.
Window washers get in the zone. And we talked about this not too long ago, but I used to work a third shift job driving a mosquito abatement truck when I was in college. And I can remember half the nights coming home, I remember leaving, and then it was 40-minute drive home, and I remember just making the second to the last turn. But there's those times when you drive or you do something, you're there, like the driving is happening, but you don't feel like you're at the wheel. Is that a similar idea?
I would say so. That means you're checking out, your body's safe enough, feels safe enough, consciously or unconsciously, and your spirit's like, hey, let's think about that trip we've been planning that's 2 years from now. Let's fast forward time and take your attention there, and you leave your body, and your body knows how to already use the mechanics of your car, right?
Wow.
Driving. But then there's people that do that, and every once in a great big while they'll get into a car accident. And this actually happened to me once. It was in the middle of the day. Like, it was 1 PM. I was driving 10 miles per hour, and I was like, this sucks. Because there's traffic. And it was on a small street, incline up. I'm going 10 miles per hour, but it was the first rain in Portland after the hot summer.
Yeah.
And it was my first summer living here. And I had checked out. I was like, it's 10 miles per hour. And I was thinking about, I can't wait to get home and change and go to class because I was teaching that night. and it was a topic I loved. Next thing you know, I'm spinning out and I go off the side of the cliff. Oh, and I literally close my eyes. I'm like, protection rose, which is a tool I use. And the car bounced. I never went all the way off the cliff. And I was like, shit. And I get out of the car and I had a hard time opening. And guess what stopped me? Rose bushes. When that time the cops got there, I was so excited, but I sounded like a crazy person. But I checked out and something else didn't check in. So my body was like, we don't know how to do 10 miles per hour. Let's check out of here.
So that's the lesson. You can check out. You can always check out, and maybe someone will check in.
Maybe.
But maybe no one checks in.
Exactly.
So maybe don't check out.
Yes.
That's the lesson for your kids.
And would you consider that being multi-dimensional? If part of you is going off into somewhere else and then the other part of you is staying and driving a car, is that considered like being a multi-dimensional being for that period of time?
I think so. I think that language would fit that, because I was really, right, when it comes to spirit, there's no time and space. Right. So sure, I was like already moving forward and being like, hey, I want to be in the class I'm going to teach tonight because I'm teaching about a topic I love, and I don't really want to be in this car in this uniform. It's hot and it's 10 miles per hour. And my spirit was like, yeah, let's go. But my body was like, you jerk.
We're driving a car.
We're trying to get home.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, it was a really, I mean, that whole experience was really tricky, because when the police got there, they had to close the road because only one way up and one way down. So talk about traffic already. Now the road is closed because they have to tow the car out. And it was not my car, it was a company car, which I did not want to drive. I fought in the morning. They're like, no, you have to take a company car. And I was like, that car has shitty wheels. They're like, you're taking the company car. And I was like, fine. So I call my boss and I tell my boss about the protection rules, and he doesn't know what the hell I'm talking about. He's just like, with your kooky talk, where are you? What happened? I was like, you can't get to me because the road is closed now. He's like, okay. I'm like, but the cops think I'm on drugs because I was telling about the protection rules. He's like, can you hand them the phone? So I had to like hand the phone over, and then there was a new police officer, and so they were making the new police officer do kind of all the legwork. And because I know how to read, I was like, oh, he's the one I need to like not talk to these muscle heads and talk. So it's like this whole thing also as being like a woman, and also like being my own advocate without being aggressive and staying light. And so it was like this huge experience. It was deeper than just like leaving my body. I needed to have that experience to learn how to advocate for myself without having to be aggressive. And so that's what I did. They pulled the car out. Nothing was wrong with the car. Not even a single scratch.
Kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding you. And they were like, what? And I was like, yeah, I'm telling you, everything is fine. Can I just leave now?
Can I go now?
Wow.
Because now the path is clear. There's no traffic the way I need to go because you stopped the traffic here. I stopped the traffic here. So now it's going to take me 10 minutes opposed to an hour. Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, sorry. I went side.
No, that's great.
Okay.
That's great.
Okay. Did you want to add something?
No.
Okay.
No, go
so
for it.
last word is clairvoyance.
Ooh, my favorite. So there's a bunch of clairs. And clairvoyant specifically is when you have your attention in what I call your sixth chakra, the center of your head. And from there, it's almost like you have a movie screen. And this is your clairvoyance, when you can see something out in front of you. Now, sometimes you can jump into it and feel like you're in it. Like, oh, I see this. Oh my gosh, let me try and fix it or heal it. But your clairvoyance is your ability to see energy. And energy that isn't yet happening, sometimes energy that is happening right then and there. Like that example of that police officer. It's like, oh, he's the rookie. They're bossing him around. However, I'm going to talk to him and give him all the report, give him all the information, and then he's going to become more senior. And that's what I need to happen. He needs that to happen too, because he doesn't feel strong. He feels like a rookie. And I'm not a rookie, so I'm going to manipulate this situation really quick.
You're seeing that in your mind? Is that how you were seeing it?
I was seeing it. I was like, oh, he feels incapable right now because they're making him feel that way, like a rookie. So I'm going to make him be the one I'm safe with.
And did you
immediately
do that kind of download so quickly, and then you're just kind of like,
I just closed my eyes for a few seconds, and I scanned everybody. Who is my person? And I saw him light up, kind of like illuminated, brighter than the rest of them. And I was like, he's my person. Why is he my person? Really quick. Because there's no time and space when you're looking at energy. Everything happens really quick if you allow it to. What doesn't allow you to see something quick is your own resistance to it, or the disbelief. Like, can it really be true? Kind of like when I bought the house, when we got the house. I didn't know how we were going to get the house. We didn't have the money. We got denied the loan. But I saw us moving in 30 days. So I started packing. And then I scared the shit out of him. My husband. Because I was like, we got a phone call. Here's the money. You can move. So it's like trusting what you see is your like seeing something, seeing the energy of something is clairvoyance, being able to see. But there's like clairaudient where you hear, right? There's clairsentient where you feel, sense. There's a lot of them.
Okay, so let me ask you if this is clairvoyant. So, because you were talking about a TV screen. I have had a TV screen pop up. I was awake, was not asleep.
Yeah.
And these two adorable cartoon bears, they were outlines. One was blue and one was green. They were clear as day. And they were just moving along, going. And then the front one started rolling like it was rolling down a hill. And I started cracking up. I obviously have not seen those bears in real life or anything. What could something like that have even been?
Ooh, this is my favorite. So your clairvoyance is most activated when you're in lighter energy. The lightest energy you can be in is in amusement. So I have read people sometimes, and let's say I'm reading a divorce. If I allow myself to feel that divorce, first of all, it's going to light up any fears I have around divorce, right? Secondly, the client, I'm going to feel them too. So raising my attention and putting my energy higher with amusement, I saw her looking like a fox, and I saw him looking like an alligator. They just don't live in the same world. And he's trying to eat her, and she's like jumping around and pooping on him randomly. And I was like, what is going on? And I read that picture. I said that to the client. And the client's like, I guess I do punish him. It's not about necessarily when you're reading someone else, it's not about understanding what you're seeing. It's communicating what you're seeing.
Because they're going to understand.
They're going to understand
hopefully what you're seeing.
Right. And taking away the responsibility of like, let me figure it out. I have to know everything here. No, that's logic. That's not your imagination, and your sixth chakra are the same. It's the same spot.
Wow.
Yeah.
So if you're in effort, you're not in the center of your head. You're not in your sixth chakra. If you don't have amusement, you're not going to see shit. And if you do see something, it's not going to be fun because you're in effort. I got to figure it out. Now, let's say you're reading something for yourself. That's trickier. You really have to be able to like be grounded and stay neutral in your clairvoyant space to see something for yourself. Like I saw buying the house. I had to be super clean. Like, is that me just having wishful thinking?
Right.
And like, ooh, maybe I'm just, no, I saw the energy. I read it. I have great certainty in what I saw. I trust myself. And I was right.
That's fascinating. Right?
Yeah.
But working that trust muscle in your clairvoyance is essential. It's no different than someone that wants muscles. They have to go to the gym. If you want to work your clairvoyance, you have to figure out, where's your gym? Is it a school? Is it a meditation practice? Like, where is it? What is it?
Right.
And I think there's so many answers to that. I don't think it's just one.
I love that. Thank you so much for doing these words with us.
Yeah.
I love that.
Thank you too.
You've been listening to the Endless Song Podcast with Will and Emily. Today's music, Everything Feels New, and Alternative Ways by Evgeny Bardyuzha. Stay safe out there, everyone. And remember, intentions matter. So be thoughtful, be kind, and be better every day. And we'll see you out there on the trails. And then if at some point...
I'm sorry that I started meowing spectacle. Sorry, not sorry.
At some point if the meowing starts, then
that's just what I want to
we'll
do.
take a break.
I can't think of words. I'm just going to start
Well,
meowing.
meow.